Hi everybody, I'm Michael, and this is the schedule for my book review channel for November 2022. It's going to be a different month than normal for me. Normally, I read a bunch of old books which came out 10 or 15 years ago. Like on the 14th, I'll be reviewing River Heights number 12 and 13, the next two books in that Nancy Drew spin-off series. This month, however, I will be posting reviews for a lot of recent books. Books that came out recently, like Babysitter's Club graphic novel number 12, Jessie's Secret Language. That came out in September this year. I liked the book. I thought it was a good graphic novel. I'll also be posting my usual comparison between the original book and the new graphic novel. On the 8th is a Babymouse book, which came out in September this year. It's the first Babymouse graphic novel in 5 or 6 years. I enjoyed it. Also on the 8th, I will post a review for Muppets, Fairy Tales from the Brothers Grimm. I reviewed Muppets Phantom of the Opera, and the author of that book liked my review on Twitter, so I felt compelled to read the sequel, where the Muppets act out a bunch of different fairy tales. On the 11th, I'll be reviewing Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Copper Beeches. That is the final mystery in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I will also be posting this compilation video where I talk about the book in general, and then I have every single mystery discussed separately. Let's see, I already mentioned the River Heights books going up on the 14th. I have two Encanto books going up on the 17th. And this is a recent book. This came out in June or July 2022, which is strange because it's the exact same as this book, which came out in October of the previous year. I don't know why the books were published 9 or 10 months apart from each other. They are the same book, but this one was published recently, and so I'm reviewing it. On the 20th, I'll be reading Ellery Queen's Thanksgiving Mystery, and so now I've read all of the mysteries in Ellery Queen's Calendar of Crime. So I have a compilation video of all the various mysteries. On the 23rd, I'll be reviewing Frozen Polar Nights Cast into Darkness. I think this came out in July of this year. It's a recent Frozen novel, about 300 pages. It's about Elsa and Anna fighting an undead monster named a Draugr, and they're also solving a mystery about a murder which happened 50 years ago. So I thought it was a very exciting book, and I really liked it. It takes place about 2 months after the events of Frozen 2. I'll also be reviewing The Experiences of Loveaday Brooke, Lady Detective. So this is a detective novel which came out in 1894. So it would have come out after this Sherlock Holmes book, but before the Sherlock Holmes book which follows it. So I thought it was okay. Clearly Loveaday Brooke did not catch on as a character because this is her only appearance. Outside of this book, she doesn't show up anywhere else. It is noteworthy because it stars a lady detective and it was written by a woman. That was the first time that we had a female author writing about a female detective. That makes this book noteworthy. On the 26th, I'll be reviewing God Loves the Autistic Mind. So this is a religious book about prayer written by an autistic priest. This came out in May 2022. I'll also be reviewing Phantom of the Opera. Someone's commissioning me to read Phantom of the Opera. On the 29th, I'll be reviewing Cirque du Freak number 6 and Sammey Keys number 3, as soon as I get around to reading that book. Here are the various books that I read last month, October, mostly Barbie books. Barbie Two Princesses, it's a simple picture book, as is Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper. Simple books. I reviewed them in under 3 minutes, okay? They were not long stories. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Barbie, 3 Cheers for Becky. Skipper starts a cheerleading squad. Barbie's friend Becky is the coach. Becky is in a wheelchair. That is what Becky is famous for. She's the Barbie doll who is in a wheelchair. Also, Barbie the class act. Barbie is a 5th grade teacher, and she teaches her students to love science. Finally, Barbie, a change of direction. Barbie is a movie director. Her sister Skipper is one of the actresses in the movie. So, lots of Barbie books. I've been reading them with my daughter because I finished reading the Rainbow Magic Fairy series, so we've moved on from Magic Fairies to Barbie books. I also read 2 Goosebumps books. So these were the Goosebumps books that I read back in June or July, and I finally finished writing reviews for those 2 Goosebumps books. Return of the Mummy, that was a great one. It was much better than the original. And Phantom of the Auditorium, that was another good one too. I liked it. I liked it. It was more realistic than the Goosebumps books. The other ones tend to have out-of-this-world monsters. Like, there's a werewolf, and there's a giant bug that's 50 feet tall. But this one was really grounded and down-to-earth. It did not play up the supernatural elements, and I liked that. I also read Crazy to Kill. So this is a murder mystery from 1941. There is a serial killer at an insane asylum. One of the inmates is killing the nurses and the doctors. I think there are 4 or 5 victims. It's not a very good book. It's poorly written, but the final chapter is fantastic. So it's a book with a great premise and a fantastic twist ending that I won't spoil here. You'll have to watch my review whenever I get around to posting the review. This book was made into an opera in the 1980s, believe it or not. I don't know why they decided to make an opera based on a serial killer in an insane asylum story. Goosebumps number 24 was also made into a musical, so I read 2 books that were made into musicals back to back, and they're both mysteries too. What do you know? Scary mysteries. Just a coincidence, I suppose. The other 2 books I read this month were Batman Arkham Knight, The Riddler's Gambit. So this is a prequel to the video game. I thought it was an interesting, exciting book. It reads like a video game. Batman fights a bunch of villains. He fights Mr. Freeze, Deadshot, Mad Hatter, and Killer Croc. And every single one of those villains has a clue to a puzzle that Robin must solve in a deadly puzzle room set up by the Riddler. Batman Arkham Knight is the novelization of the video game. So, this book is supposed to be... See, the Riddler book is supposed to be a prequel to this one, the Arkham Knight book. It's not. They have nothing in common. But this was a pretty good book, too. This one is based directly on the video game. And, yeah, I thought it was good. I liked both of those Batman books. But I've read enough Batman for a while. I've read 15 different Batman novels. So I did post a poll on my channel here asking people what series should I read next. People wanted me to read the Nancy Drew Files series. So I'm going to be reading the next 10 books in the Nancy Drew Files over the upcoming months. I did read book number 75, A Talent for Murder, but I have not started my review for that book yet. I don't know how much time I'll have for reading new books this month, because I'm going to be writing Cat President 3. Yes, that's right, we're making another Cat President game. I have to finish writing this game around now if I want it to come out in time for the 2024 presidential election. So this month of November, I'm going to be really busy writing a video game. That's going to be my main project. I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy all my various book reviews, everyone.